Hello everyone and welcome back. This is the joinDOTA League Season 2. This is the Asia Region Division 1, and this is a two-game series between Scythe and Titan. In the last game we saw, this is game 2 of course, and in the last game we saw Titan with the Dire Side Lycan and the Shadow Shaman able to just take absolute control after the Roshan and take down all the towers, and basically the Shadow Fiend, played by Chibix, got the hand of Minus, but ultimately wasn't able to do too much in the team fights. Polson had a pretty tough time in the offlane, whereas Ohio, the offlane Bristleback, had a really good time. So, kind of spiraled out of control, and as well as the supports and the Shadow Demon and the Enchantress were both pretty vulnerable to just the physical damage output coming out just from Bristleback Howl, as well as KYXY's Tinker, who just bought a lot of space. No physical damage is what I mean, but he also had just so much magical damage. Everyone needed both a BKB and to be very tanky. It was pretty difficult. So, ban's going to be accordingly. Scythe on the Dire side this time. They're going to be picking up a first pick Brewmaster. They're going to be banning out the Batrider as well as Viper. Whereas Titan, they're going to target Miracle once again with the Lycan ban and the Naga Siren ban. They pick up with the first pick. They get the Invoker for the mid lane. Whereas Scythe, they go ahead and they pick up the Brewmaster. So normally against a Brewmaster we just kind of see Dooms picked up right away, and I think Scythe pick up a Rubik in anticipation of that. So we'll see if Titan decides to go for the offlane Doom here, or it could be carry Doom. Offlane Doom pretty good on Radiant side for all the reasons that Radiant offlane is very good. And if you have an Invoker in the mid lane, you have the jungle pretty free as well if the offlane gets a little bit tough. So Titan basically say, okay, are we going to pick a Doom into a Rubik, or are we going to let Brewmaster kind of do his own thing? Both of which are kind of difficult to deal with because, oh wow, okay. So that's not something I super expected, but Lifestealer going to be picked up in the first phase. A hero that we've seen kind of fall off. He hasn't really gotten really worse. A lot of carries have just gotten a lot better. People remember, okay, well, Lifestealer is he's a big pain in the lane. We have seen offlane Lifestealer too, by the way, but he's a big pain in the lane just because of the sustainability he has with both Rage and Feast. He also has the offensive capability with the open wounds, and if there's ever a creep there and he's level 6, he always has a taxi back to freedom, or at least to buy his team time to get there. So see him picked up here very early on. The reason he also kind of fell off is people were like, well, he has really low armor. He actually doesn't have that much health. His tankiness is kind of apparent, kind of like Timbersaw's tankiness. People think, oh, Timbersaw is so tanky, but that's only after he gets like a couple of levels in reactive armor and also has some items to his name as well as some health. But Lifestealer, his tankiness is very just apparent with all the lifesteal he gets, both with open wounds and feast in combination, as well as a free attack speed and magic immunity from Rage. But still, he'll be picked up nonetheless. Scythe, they'll go ahead and they'll ban out the Doom. So Titan, they target ban the Enchantress because, well, Infinity was playing a very good Enchantress in the last game, just the stand-in, and she's kind of a hard hero to deal with, especially in the as a mid laner. And then on the Dire side, she's good for the same reason that Shadow Shaman was in the last game. Using Untouchable to take Roche is pretty nice. So that's going to be the ban there. As far as other bans, I mean, what Miracle heroes are there? I mean, Weaver kind of makes a lot of sense. Back when it was basically like a Weaver and Lifesteal and Alchemist were the only carries that ever got picked up. You always picked up Weaver if you wanted to make Lifestealer have a really sad time just with the minus armor and being able to kite him around. The Augustin's not in the pool. I mean, PL's in the pool. I'm trying to think of a popular Miracle carry that they might want to target. I mean, I can't really think of too many actually. I think Luna and Clockwork work very well in conjunction with one another, especially against Lifestealer in particular. They ban out Darkseer though, so don't want to be facing that team fight with the Brewmaster and the Darkseer, as well as having to farm against Ion Shell, even though you have Feast is kind of a pain if Lifestealer is indeed in that bottom lane as the one position and not the offlaner.
10 seconds remaining.
But offlane Lifestealer is something we've seen more as like utility. He's going to have to run as another core. He's not a Centaur, he's not a Batrider. the blink and go sort of support my team heroes that way. So Scythe, they get this last band pickup, and they also get the next pick right after that. Only part in the draft where you kind of get that going into the second phase of picks. And they ban on a Nyx Assassin. That makes sense. If you have the squishy support, also he's a pretty good ganker in combination with the Nyx. He's able to just infest into Vendetta as well. Spiked Carapace, really annoying to harass him out of the lane, especially with his base regen being just incredible. I think it's like 3.2, something ridiculous. So they'll go ahead and take that out. Yeah, my mic is on. I was paranoid for a moment that my mic was muted, so apologize for that. Also, I saw someone was saying in the mic that, or in the chat, was my mic was a little bit quiet, so I turned that up a little bit. Hopefully it's all sounding good. Hopefully it doesn't sound too muffled because it sounds close to my mouth, which it actually is not, but still. Anyway, third pick. We always see this take a long time just because it kind of solidifies your draft. Chen is in the pool. Shadow Shaman is in the pool. Visage is in the pool as well. Rubik Visage, a very popular, not necessarily Dota scene, but Chinese Dota usually like Rubik Visage a lot. Just because of the physical damage, the laning presence, the way that both those supports scale very well into the late game. I think Weaver is quite good here. The only thing that would really be a pain is just if it's a Quaswex Invoker, Weaver would have kind of a tough time just with the EMP burning all of his mana. Weaver definitely depends on that to get himself the mobility and get the damage done in the team fights. At least until you hit level 16 when time lapse ceases to cause mana. So they will, after a long time, go ahead and pick up Visage. So Rubik Visage, classic combination. The reason that those heroes kind of fell off is they're both very level dependent, and they both have very high mana costs for their spells in lane. And they roam okay, but they aren't the best at roaming. And the other fad of moving from having nukes on your supports to just having the ability to buff up your physical attacks, Luna, Ancient Apparition, Vengeful Spirit, etc. Interesting to see Potom be completely ignored. This is only 6.81B, but I just haven't seen Potom be picked up too much lately. Arrow wasn't nerfed too hard, but thank God, man. That hero, not that it's bad to have that hero in a game. Like, it makes for exciting games. It's always very aggressive, but kind of annoying to see the same hero all the time. So Titan, they got to pick up both their supports. They need to pick up an offlaner, I would think. I don't think that Lifestealer offlane would be that great in this circumstance, just because Rubik and Visage can take him out. The rage duration is pretty short. I think it's like 1 second, 1.5 seconds. It's actually 3 seconds. Jeez, what am I thinking of? Thinking of something totally different. Yeah, 3 seconds, really not that long to get out of all of their slows, and they also can pick up something else like a Mirana for their carry for that tri-lane if they really want to, which would be even more of a pain. So Titan, there aren't really too many supports left on the table that are really popular in the C scene, I would think. They go with a Bristleback. So they're going with the pure tanky build. I kind of think that Timbersaw now seems pretty good for Scythe, because they're going to have a lot of teamfight control in the Rubik Visage and Brewmaster themselves, and in the laning phase, just Timbersaw against a Lifestealer or a Bristleback. If they go aggressive tri-lane, try to get maybe one-on-one Bristleback versus a Timbersaw, I think that would be very good in their favor. Also, the pure damage is great against a squishy hero like Invoker, at least until he gets some items up.
5 seconds remaining.
The only thing, once again, is if he goes Quaswex, it's kind of a pain to play that hero against a Quaswex Invoker. Lifestealer can rage a bit of damage, and Timbersaw is a strength hero, which means that Feast will be that much more effective against him, but still I think that would be a good pickup. But they go for the Clockwork instead. So Clockwork as well is very good against these very beefy melee cores, because it doesn't matter how much damage they do, it's always going to take 3 hits to kill Cogs, or 2, I mean, in the meantime. But you go Force Staff first, or you go Blade Mail, and I think Force Staff first seems pretty good in this game. And you get a range carry. You get a range carry such as Luna. Sometimes we see Viper, Shadow Fiend, Mirana as well. And all of a sudden they come out of the cogs when the cogs either expire or they decide to attack them.
Team ban.
And they have like half health, so I like the Clockwork pickup a lot. I think this hero is very undervalued. I think he used to get picked up so much, like right when the offlaners were changed. But I mean, still, it's good that lots of heroes are good.
Remaining.
So Clockwork coming up, and Lich.
5
Oh, he's a
seconds
pain in the
remaining.
ass. So Lich going to be your lane controller here, probably the best lane winner in the game, just with the power of
Reserve time.
sacrifice, both
10
being able to
seconds
deny EXP from your opponent, as well as provide it to your team and to
5
yourself,
seconds
and then
remaining.
also pull the lane back towards your favor as well.
Radiant team
So
ban.
that's going to either affect the Brewmaster or the Clockwork, whichever one they really prioritize shutting down. I think they'll prioritize maybe a Lich Bristleback off lane, because Lifestealer and Bristleback
10
aren't
seconds
particularly
remaining.
good offlaners. I mean, Ohio did pretty well in that last game, but
5 seconds remaining.
I think that's more of an exception than the rule, as we well know it and have seen it in many games.
Reserve time.
Last ban, ban and carry, ban Morphling. Okay, makes sense. Ban Miracle's Morphling.
Dire team pick.
That's a range carry that would go very well with Clockwork. Also does really well in the lane, but
Anti-mage.
they go with Anti-Fun coming on up for Miracle. This is good as well. He's very squishy in lane though, is the thing, and if there's a Lich against him, it's going to be pretty difficult. We see Miracle do very well with this hero in general. Like he just doesn't really get greedy, and he knows that if he can just survive until the later stages of the game, he'll be totally fine. And he has 4 space creators on his team, and everyone scales well in the late game. Brew kind of falls off a bit. Clock
10
arguably
seconds
falls off a
remaining.
bit, but I still think he's very good, especially with the Aghanim Scepter. Upgrade,
5
just hitting
seconds
2 or 3
remaining.
hooks in a fight is very powerful. Let's see what the last support is for.
Lion.
Yeah, they go with Lion. Okay, I was thinking Shadow Demon or Lion or something like that to be coming out, but they're going to be going for the bursting down philosophy, trying to take out that anti-mage, and we'll see. It's 2 very squishy supports as well against some very heavy nuke damage. I think I would favor Titan just in the laning phase as well, because they do have a Lich. And the Lich is going to be able to dual lane, so that means that the Lion will get to dual lane. He'll be able to get his Finger of Death up pretty early. So, it looks like it will be an off-lane Bristleback for Ohio once again. So, he did well in the last game, but this time he has a Lich helping him out. That'll be even better. Or if Lich decides to help out in the mid lane. Not really to help out Invoker. Invoker doesn't really need that much help, but... So... Or sorry, but they would
10
really want to be
seconds
prioritizing
remaining.
shutting down the Brewmaster more than anything else, I think.
5 seconds
We'll
remaining.
see how it goes. We also have a different stand-in here for the Visage. It was Defa playing on the Shadow Demon last time, going to be Kai playing on the Visage this time. So I'm waiting for everyone to pick up their heroes, and here we go. So Infinity going to be playing on the side of Scythe. They're going to be down 1 game on the Dire side this time. Let's see if they can get it in this game. Playing on the Enchantress last game, playing on the Rubik this game. We're going to have Infinity, and we have a pause for some reason. Don't know why that's paused, but whenever we get resumed, I'll go ahead and introduce the rest of the players. Excuse me. And looks like we have the ghost symbol. Looks like Kai had a little bit of was AFK or something like that. But anyway, Miracle going to be playing on the anti-mage, looking sharp as well with that Mohawk. Going to be the Brewmaster going mid, going to be by Polison this time. And then we're going to have the stand-in Kai, going to be playing the Visage. And then Chibix playing the Shadow Fiend last game, going to be playing the Clockwork this game in the solo safe lane. So it looks like they're going to be doing an aggressive tri-lane. Looks to be a dodge to me. But on the side of Titan, we're going to have KYXY playing as the Life Stealer in the off lane currently. Lich going to be played by Extinct, looking good in those robes as well. We're going to have
30
Invoker in the
seconds
mid
to
lane by
battle.
NWP. Looks like he will be going Quas Wex. Lion going to be played by Net. And Bristleback going to be played by Ohio. So, going to be a dual lane off lane with the Lifestealer, not with the Bristleback. So, I think... Let's see, was this pinged out? Kai is moving up. Looks like he just wants to drop that ward. I think this lane... I don't know which dual lane would actually be easier for Miracle, to be honest. Anti-Mage is very
The
squishy.
battle begins.
at least he has the two supports that are going to be helping him out, so it is a 3v2 in that aspect, and it's not the lane with the Lich, so I think I should favor them, but I don't really. But anyway, Shivik's going to be spotting out the Illusion Rune, knows that Lifestealer is top lane, kind of expects Lich to be there as well. He already sacrificed one of the creeps. So now they know what's going on. They're going to be happy with this too. They're going to be avoiding, not going to be doing any more lane dodges or lane switches. I think mainly they wanted to avoid the Lich, but Bristleback he's a big pain as well. We'll see what they decide to go for. And he has to get in melee range to get last hits. At least it's double range support. Top lane. Yeah, Chivix, he'll be able to get pretty much everything he needs out of that lane. Even if it's actually just a solo Lifestealer versus Clockwork, KYXY will have a fun time in that matchup. For the same reason that against a lone druid, Lifestealer has a really good time in certain one-on-one matchups. So Miracle, taking a bit of cool spray damage, already having to tango up, only has one last hit so far. Lich is staying here in the meantime. Mid lane, Invoker against the Brewmaster, going to be a little bit, actually, nah, they're both 1 for 1, so I think I would favor Invoker a little bit, but he is Claw Swipe, so going to be kind of hard. And top lane, well, Open Wounds is there, and KYXY draws first blood. So getting a little bit cocky there is Chivix, and normally as a Clockwork you are happy just getting experience. So Miracle, once he hits level 2 here, he'll be able to start mana breaking Ohio pretty aggressively, so that'll be a little bit easier because you won't have the mana to Quill Spray. So that's pretty decent. Ward gets taken out as well from Titan. So now they get the vision, they know there's a ward here. Let's see if they decide to actually contest that. Net's moving up and Ohio moving up as well. Miracle happy to be hitting creeps. So looks like just lots of standoffs. Ohio is going to be moving up towards Infinity. We have some Quill Spray. Not going to be wasting too much mana on it though. Meanwhile, top lane, looks like there's a Battery Assault. Open Wounds though, not enough mana for it. Salve going to be coming out, and I think that Chippick should just be happy that he's getting a lot of experience here. Meanwhile, Net, he gets blinked forward, and Soul Assumption is there. There's one more right click, going to be able to take it out. Was a bit surprised in that there's a Hex as well, but Infinity taking a lot of damage. There's a Telekinesis. Ohio's out of mana though, and he tangos through the trees. He's hiding a bit. Won't be able to get away. Mid lane, we're going to have 4 for 2 against 9 for 3, so Polison actually doing a decent job here. Just the damage out from Quas Swex makes it very difficult to get last hits, just in general, especially when you have Clap, you have a Bottle Crowing that's going to be helping you sustain the mana for that. You have Drunken Haze Harass, and not to mention the big harassment tool you have, which is just having range right clicks against melee, is kind of negated from Drunken Brawler. So still, but Miracle manages to pick up enough last hits to pick up a Ring of Health, so he's going to be having a good time now. He's level 3, has the mana burn, has the spell shield, and now the lane's kind of turning in favor. Ohio, he gets Great Shield out, not going to be doing too much, and Miracle taking a lot of tower damage. He's going to have to salve up there. So he'll be okay. Meanwhile, Lifestealer, KYXY, sorry, yeah, it's KYXY. He picks up his phase boots, and they're Clockwork having a pretty tough time. You know, in the bottom lane, I missed it a bit. There was a bit of a dive, and Lion does get to go down. He's very squishy as well. So lots of action here. I think at this point Miracle can 1v1 this just against a Bristleback. He can't do a 2v1 against the Lion, but with the spell shield as well and the mana burn, if Ohio doesn't have the mana to Quill Spray, he's not really that powerful in lane. Invoker is going to be checking the rune here. It's going to be an Illusion Rune bottom, spotted out by the Dire. And that he's just going to decide to abandon this lane and kind of move on. So still, Clockwork also was forced back. Ran out of consumables, got pretty low. Lich going to be moving down as well. So support's going to be moving into roaming. Not really the same coming out for Scythe here. So I guess both carries really content to farm. Miracle and KLAXY both, and Boots picked up there for Miracle. He'll be on the way to that Battle Fury pretty quickly there. Getting a lot of last hits, actually. 24, just at 4.5 minutes. And it shows his experience on the hero, really knowing the limits as well. And at least he wasn't up against the Lich Tri-Lane, so the dodge was successful. Chivik's having a little bit of a tough time there. We want to tri-lane mid against Polison. NWP throws out the EMP, has a cold snap as well, doesn't have, well, okay, they didn't see him uphill. He's like, well, that's a bit of a surprise for me. He gets hexed up as well, and the attack does not miss uphill. Meanwhile, they see 3 heroes mid. They decide to Grave Chill onto Ohio. Mana break is there. He has no mana, so Fable not going to do enough. Rubik only level 2. Top lane. It looks like it's going to be a 1v1 again with a Lifestealer against the Clockwork. Going to be favoring Lifestealer for the reasons that I had mentioned before. In Ohio, going to be going for some treads, picks up the Belt of Strength, and he's going to be Grave Chilled again. And Body Blocks coming up from Miracle. There's a Telekinesis as well. Grave Chill, or Soul Assumption is there, but Akatho Stick Charges did so much for him. Miracle, he's not going to dive this. Do not want to dive against a Bristleback. Takes a lot of discipline to do that. Meanwhile, top lane, Net comes up. He has the Earth Spike. He has the Hex as well if they need it, which it is. And there's a Frost Blast. Right click from Lifestealer going to be able to secure that kill. Polison making his way back to the mid lane as well in the meantime, and Ohio forced back to base. 6-minute rune going to be a haste rune bottom. NWP going to be checking. It looks like he got his phase boots. Is that for him? Yep, sure is. So he's going to be rushing to that Orchid Malevolence. Throws out the EMP on Chivik, sneaking in. Gets a cold snap as well, and now he's completely out of mana. Sucks to be him. So, and I think Quaswex is definitely the best choice here, especially just against the Clock and Brewmaster. Pretty low mana intensive heroes. Also the counter initiation going to be something they're definitely lacking. You don't really get a whole lot of teamfight offered from a Bristleback or a Lifestealer, so not to mention the Ghostwalk and Nyx bombs. Camp's going to be farmed here. But haste rune coming up here from Polison. Is he going to really do anything with it? He has Primal Split, and they're both just going to TP out. Very, very heads-up TPs there. Both of them are pretty close to out of mana. Knew that he had his ultimate, and there's a clap going on to KYXY, but he'll be okay. He has an Infest as well. Anti-Mage. Miracle picks up his treads, got his Ring of Health as well, so a little bit of problems against a Bristleback before his mana really starts to be, before he really gets the mana burn off, because you have to get close to get that mana burn, and he can just quill spray you. So you kind of want to wait till he's using a lot of mana first, and then really burn about half of his mana, because that's a little bit easier. KYXY, he's getting tri-lane top, but rotations from support's not too successful. All of them really need to go out and try to get their levels. KYXY uses the Infest just to get some more health. Middle lane, well, Chivix, he used the Kong, but he's out of mana after that EMP. Wex is there, Phase Boots as well. He has a lot of move speed, but no Cold Snap going to be there. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Gank going to be able to get Miracle there, just with the rotation from Lion as well as Lich. So, support duo is definitely winning out on the side of Titan right now. Roaming support's just trying to get lots of kills, and Invisibility rune top. Smoke actually picked up by Panda. Not something we see too often. Did he put that on the courier? What did he... Oh, he sold it. Okay. Alright, never mind. So I don't really need to talk about why you would get a smoke. Well, Chivix goes down. Staying in lane too much against NWP. Got his 2 Sages Mass as well, working towards that Orchid Malevolence, which he's going to be wanting against Miracle. It's going to be a while before he has both a Battle Fury and a Manta. So it's going to be pretty easy for him to be trying to go around and gank, especially in conjunction with the Lifestealer and letting Ohio get stuff done. KYXY after his Phase Boots goes for the Midas. Something we kind of see be a fad is get your upgraded boots, then go for the Hand of Midas, because the lane control and lane presence that it gives you early on is just worth giving up 2 or 3 Midas. It's worth giving up 2 or 3 Midas usages just to have those Phase Boots. Particularly on heroes like Mirana, like Invoker, like Nature's Prophet. Those are heroes we usually see go for Phase Boots and then into a Midas, or Power Treads into a Midas as well. So it's a smoke up. Miracle, it looks like he's just acting as bait, as he's the only one that intentionally is not smoked. Let's see if they can find anyone. I think that they smell it. It's been pinged out. Miracle moving on up. The Creep Wave saw it as well. Courier is there. Are they going to be able to get it? Smoke is expired. And Ohio, he's none the wiser. And there we go. Telekinesis, Grave Chill as well. Polson, he has his ultimate if he needs it. But the Invoker, NWP comes in with a huge Tornado EMP. Manages to catch all of them. Rubik is actually the first to go down. Ohio is very tanky. Phantom pops his ultimate as well. Able to finish off Ohio. But NWP, he doesn't have too many spells. He actually doesn't have mana. He has the wand charges if he really needs it, but Net, he's kind of stuck in no man's land. There's a battery assault. Mana Void is there as well, but he has a lot of mana. Blink one last right click, going to be able to clean him up, and Chain Frost gets the last hit there from Extinct. Polson, he's trying to move out and get out of dodge, but Polson is actually still chilling. And looks like he'll go down. He has stick charges, he has bottle charges as well, but Tornado going to be able to get him there. So NWP picks up 2 kills there, gets on a killing spree. Meanwhile, top lane, KYXY just solos the tower by himself. So this is also the power of Quaswex Invoker. Just the counter initiation at these early stages is incredible. And not to mention, he actually went for 4 points in Quas. So he has incredibly long duration on these tornadoes as well as these Cold Snap, which normally we see these 3 points, and it's making a difference, I think, with that extra control. So he went for the casual point in Exort. So normally you would have 6 points in Wex about now, or a second point in Invoke. So got a lot of spells at his disposal. We'll see him start maxing that Wex and moving towards that Orchid. Net getting some much needed experience mid. He is level 6, so he does have Finger of Death to his disposal, but Lion, I hear you want a bit more levels on. Same with Infinity. He's pretty sad actually, only level 4. And Net Worth looking pretty ridiculously in Titan's favor right now. What is this coming out for KYXY? Looks like we'll be going for the Armlet. Extinct going to be going for his own Tranquil Boots. As we see the Helm of Iron Will picked up from KYXY. So they're going to be going for the classic Lysular Armlet build. It's going to be mech on Ohio once again. He's going to be going on a Pulse, and he knows he doesn't have his ultimate. Tornado's going to land with the 5 points in Wex. There's a clap as well, but doesn't matter. Let's be able to clean that up with a Frost Blast. So overstaying his welcome a little bit there. Bristleback able to dive towers pretty easily, and when you have that front line, well, pretty easy to have Extinct and NWP follow up as well. KOXOD is farming up in the mid lane. There is going to be some more actions. We see a smoke picked up here by Lion. They really want to make sure they're shutting down Miracle. Got his Claymore, going to be working towards that Battle Fury. Given the amount of resources that Titan is investing in kind of shutting him down, it's no surprise that he's only got this much money at this stage in the game. But still, he'll do what Anti-Mage does. He'll get his farm, he'll avoid fights, and unless you really end the game, it can get kind of tough. So some more D-Ward action coming out from Titan, looking to really get that map control. They also have a lane ward up here. Sorry, that's actually Scythe, but the D-Ward going to be coming up from the mid as well, making sure that there are no lane wards there. And so they have total control of this area of the river. So 9-5 our score. KYXY kind of content to farm. He's got his Armlet recipes. Probably gonna. Never mind. It looks like he might. Oh, he has his finished Armlet as well. Wow. Pretty good there. I was thinking he might just get the recipe so he can finish it up at the side cut. But they're going to be going on the Pulse. And here you get. Oh, the Finger of Death. Helping him there. And he actually ran out of mana. He was cold snapped in mid animation. So Bristleback actually able to get the kill with that last kill spray. And he has his mech. So they're going to be looking to 5-man these towers minus KYXY. So 4-man. Which is what needs to be done against Anti-Mage. You can get objective after objective, but if you don't turn those into towers, well, so be it. And also, these towers are pretty easy to take. Miracle's not really in much of a position to be split pushing too much. It's pretty vulnerable. And, well, mid-tower goes down. Familiar Bird going to be able to stop a bit, but no, oh my god! I was just waiting for a quote-unquote fight to happen, but Infinity just got blown up. Panda ult is used, NWP thrown into the air. There's a rock on a Net as well. Clockwork Hook looks like it was going to miss, but Net throws out the Earth Spike. Miracle is here as well. Chibix is taking a lot of damage. He's kind of stuck in no man's land as well. KYXY manages to finish off the Visage in the meantime. There's a cold snap on a Chibix. He goes down as well to the right clicks. Polson, he doesn't have Primal Split. He doesn't have a Blink Dagger as well, Ohio. And he's got the Strength Treads. He might switch to Int Treads to get a little bit more out of this. And, well, 3 versus 1, we'll see if he goes down here. There's a clap as well. Open Wounds is there, and Polson's going to go down. Miracle manages to get out alive, but that's a 3-for-0 as well as a tower. So Titan in firm control of this game. Miracle has the Perseverance, 1,000 gold away from that ever so sought after Battle Fury. Probably going to have that around 16 minutes or so if things keep coming the way they are. But KYXY, he's getting close to whatever he wants. He can buy a Hyperstone. And this is the scary thing now, is that NWP has the Orchid finished. It's going to be a long time before Mantis down on Miracle. Well, there's EMP, Orchid as well. Totally out of mana. It's okay.
Dire's top tower
Screw
is
magic
under
anyway,
attack.
right? Top tower just getting pushed by KYXY, and with this ward control as well. Oh, never mind. Chivix, he's going to be hooking in on the NWP, but there's the Frost Blast and the Tornado doing a lot of damage. One more attack on those cogs, but Chain Frost is there as well. Going to be bouncing the Miracle, and NWP managed to survive a little bit there. Can switch to Quas if he really needs to. Net comes in. That's a little bit ballsy, friend. He gets telekinesis, but never mind. He has backup coming in from Ohio. There's the cogs. It's actually going to be killing Kai. He did his best there, but he actually just ends up hurting his team. Is there a Hex? All there was. Or actually, what? I have no idea what canceled his TP there. Looks like it was a cold snap. Yeah, they just called GG. So, Miracle didn't have his Battle Fury. 16-5. Net worth, gold. Looking very much in everyone's favor. And, well, that's going to be it. Titan's going to take a very quick 2-0 in this 2-game series. So, wow. I mean, sometimes you have intense games when you have a really hard carrier like Anti-Mage like that. Sometimes, well, you win all your lanes because you have a Lich, and 1 in 5 Clockwork, 1 in 5 Brewmaster, those are supposed to be your space creators, and you know, the Orchid on the Invoker, I think, was the deal stealer. When they saw the Orchid Invoker, I think they realized, well, Miracle's not going to be able to get away with any split pushing. There's going to be way too much counter initiation with Tornado whenever Brew or Clockwork try to jump in, so they give up. Well, that's going to be it for us, everyone, so thank you for tuning in. This was, once again, for the joinDOTA League America Division 1, and it was just a 2-game series. This content was brought to you by Heflatv. If you liked us, make sure you follow us on Heflatv on Twitter and Facebook, and Heflamoke on YouTube. If you liked these games, make sure you follow both these teams and support them at their Titan and Scythe. And if you liked my casting or hated it and want to let me know either way, you can find me on Twitter at CallMeRoxas. So, that's going to be, let me check the schedule really quick, see if there are any more games coming on up. I'm pretty sure we do. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have He versus VP going to be coming up pretty soon here on the same channel, so going to be restarting the stream, or I'm not going to be restarting the stream, but we're going to be going ahead and getting into that game, it seems. Not sure if the lobby is up just yet, but that's going to be it. Thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you in the next series, and congrats to Titan. Have a good one. See you next time.